Welcome to Authentic with Brazil 201. I'm your host, Brazil 201, and on today's episode, we're going to talk about Reminders of Him, the latest Colleen Hoover movie to hit theaters. And before we get into spoilers, I got to say, first, I'm going to say this movie, I am not of the Colleen Hoover universe. I just want to say that. I only see these movies now because of It Ends With Us, which I enjoyed. I've so far enjoyed all of these Colleen Hoover movies that have come out. I have not read any of these books. Okay. So all I get from my information is from the trailers and like the shit I see on Twitter. I don't know if there's some type of Colleen Hoover versus Emily Henry beef. I really did love People We Meet on Vacation. I said that movie was as good, if not better, than Regretting You. Now, I can't believe I'm saying, and I really love People We Meet on Vacation. This movie I thought was better than People You Meet on Vacation. Now, I honestly think maybe I can't believe it. I think Emily Banner would have been cooler on the role than Malika Monroe in this movie. But outside of that, I really did. I fucking love this movie. I cried the last 15 minutes. I do not think there is a single person who, when they see this movie, are not going to cry that last 15 minutes. And I'm so mad I cried. And I just want to say, I am a person who's heartless as shit. Like, for example, everyone seemed to cry during Hamnet. I thought Hamnet was stupid. I don't care about the origin story of the fucking play or the kid that swapped with his sister because, like, to trade his soul for the Grim Reaper or whatever the fuck was going on with Hamnet. I thought that movie was garbage. I don't care, but a bunch of old people were crying. In my screener, both the press screener and the normal people screener for Reminders of Him, once the last 15 minutes happen, yo, upsetting. People are just in tears. Okay. This movie is beautiful. And honestly, this movie should make at least Regretting You numbers. And it's in a weird box office spot right now in the theaters because we have Scream is still making numbers. Next week, Project Hail Mary comes out, and Project Hail Mary is going to pretty much dominate until Super Mario comes out. And then the summer movies just start. That's how like quick we are here. And it's weird. It should constantly stay at least in the number 2 spot, but Hoppers is like a phenomenon as well. So this is the weird slot, but it should make at least as much money as Regretting You. I think this movie is better than that. I'm all in on any Colleen Hoover adaptation. I don't read any of these books. I just go in with the trailer and that's it. And I understand Colleen Hoover writes books for hot women who want to feel the trauma of losing someone they love in a car accident. Because from what I've seen now in 4 movies, well, 3 movies, well, 2 movies actually, right? Because It Ends With Us, there's no car accident scene. I don't know if in the sequel, because I know there's a sequel book, and that movie obviously is probably never happening because of the Blake Lively situation. Does Atlas die via car accident, or the guy who abused her, does he die in the second book? I'm gonna assume so because like a car accident seems to be necessary in all these movies as much as a pickup truck, and a very specific type of pickup truck because it's the truck that McKenna Grace drives in Regretting You. I believe Atlas as a kid had a pickup truck, and there's a pickup truck in this movie that's predominant. And I know the next Colleen Hoover book movie coming out is Variety, however you say that. That's the Anne Hathaway movie. And from based on where it's coming out, since it's coming out in October and November, that movie is an Oscar contender apparently. Like, and I don't know. I'm assuming it's another movie. I guess someone Anne Hathaway loves dies in a car accident. I don't know anything. I just know Anne Hathaway's in that movie, and I'm just going to assume a car accident happens. And just based off the release date of when that movie's coming, that is allegedly an Oscar movie. It's a weird year for Oscar movies since The Odyssey is going to win everything. It's more like what else is going to get nominated. Obviously, it will be Project Hail Mary. It probably be Variety, however you say that. Dune 3, Digger. Like you get where we're going with all of this. But anyway, um, I fucking love this movie, and I'm gonna kind of go into the story with it, and the whole cast. So we have Tyreek Withers, who plays a guy named Letter. For those who don't know who Tyreek Withers is, he was the lead actor in an episode of Atlanta that the critics hated because they deemed the episode kind of racist. This was the "Are you black enough or not black enough" episode with Kevin Samuels, and everyone who wasn't like woke really loved the episode. I thought that was one of the best episodes of Atlanta, right? How because he was half white, half black, and he was leaned on his white side more. And then towards the end of the episode, he kind of leans into his black self, and then he gets, he does the hairbrush thing, and he goes to jail. How about everything? So that's what I know him from. I know people have seen him. I did not see him, so I have no idea. Malika Monroe, who plays Kenna, who looks like kind of like Ella Purnell, like equally hot, but in a different way. She has like the same amount of like Bushwick style tattoos that Ella Purnell has. I only know her from Independence Day 2, because that is where like I've come obsessed. We have Rudy Panko who plays Scott. We have Lorelai from Gilmore Girls, and we have Bradley Whitford. Obviously, you know him from The Diplomat or Get Out or Billy Madison. Or obviously you obviously know him as Josh Lyman from The West Wing. So for the purpose of this, because I do not know the names of Lorelai and fucking Josh Lyman, like their characters, I'm just, to me they're always going to be Josh Lyman and Lorelai, Gilmore, for those two characters. But everyone else I understand. There's Ledger, Kenna, Denham is the daughter of Malika Monroe, Kenna, and Scotty is the father who, dies in a car accident. No shock here, as in all these fucking Colleen Hoover movies. Also, I didn't notice if there was a Colleen Hoover cameo in this movie. I also have zero idea what Colleen Hoover actually looks like. I just understand she is the miracle worker for what white women want. So this movie takes place in Wyoming, and I gotta say, it looked a lot like the show that comes out tomorrow, The Madisons, which takes place in Montana. Maybe all these states in the middle of the country that are up there look the same. I gotta say, fucking beautiful. Okay. I was like, wow, it is, wherever the fuck they shot this movie, it is beautiful. I would never want to live there, but wow. So the movie starts with Malika Monroe's character, Kenna, in a taxi. They stop at this highway intersection, which has a memorial across that says Scott, and Scotty, we remember Scotty Landry, we remember, we always love him in his car accident. It's funny, in Jersey City, there's something very similar to that, like a memorial where this little 6-year-old got hit by a UPS truck. And it's just like a bicycle that's there with a bunch of ribbons. Very similar to what is in this movie. I assume a lot of places that have more of a locally town have something similar to that. She takes a cross that's there because she says Scotty hated memorials and would never want to do that. Then we're at a place called Paradise. I can't tell if it's a hotel or a halfway house. And and this is the only part I'm kind of confused. We don't know if Kenna has a mother that's alive or her parents are alive, but she's just fresh out of jail. She's been in jail for 7 years or 6 years or whatever. And she's at this halfway house, and she's from this town. Okay, so it's not like, so this is the other part that's kind of confusing to me, because from everything we've seen in this movie, it's very small town vibes where everyone knows each other. And Scotty was like well liked. So I assume people would know the person Scotty was dating who, killed him via a car accident, right? But it seems like no one really like knows or remembers the Kenna thing. And this is the part that I'm confused, because Ledger knows who Kenna is, which we'll get into later. But he's like, she looks different since then or whatever. So we're at the halfway house, and she's like, first month, last month's rent's just like $550. This is Wyoming, so I guess that's cheap. And the landlord is like, you have to take one of these kittens with you. It's like, if you take the kittens, I won't charge you for electricity for a month. That's what happens. And then we meet a Down syndrome girl named Lady Diana, very nice, lovely girl that just apparently goes into random people's houses and takes their food from the fridge. I guess she has Down syndrome and she's a little bit autistic. Very lovely character in this. Gotta say, props to like not making them like a cringy, like fake thing. Like, she has a purpose to the story. Very similar to Jade in The Pit, right? The autistic sister in The Pit, which is, great. Oh, Becca. Fuck. Why did I keep thinking her name is Jane? God, that is my bad, guys. Anyway, so that happens. She gets it. She has no furniture in this house. And then she writes in this notebook constantly, right? Very Elena Gilbert, seasons 1, 2, and 3 of the Vampire Diaries. And she's right, Dear Scotty. And I kept in my head, I was like, Dear Stefan Salvatore. Or Dear, because she used to write to her parents who also like got in a car accident off the Wickery Bridge, which was just like a random rainstorm and all that. She's going through these places trying to get a job. And she goes to the diner, but the diner says we can't hire felons. You should try the Dollar Tree or this dollar grocery store thing. And then we get our first flashback and she was a cashier there. And we meet Scotty, who just is like working up the nerve to talk to her by buying a dish so that she can talk to him. And then she's like, I can't date my customer. She's like, okay, I'm going to return and never come here again. And he's like, want to go on a date? And then she sees this orange pickup truck, right? And she's like, I hate that thing. She's like, well, this is my friend's ledgers. So boom. Then we go that. It's raining. She's like, I'm gonna go to my favorite bookstore. The bookstore turned into a bar, and she meets Ledger there, and she's in her backpack, and she's like, "Do you want anything?" And he's like, "Do you want anything?" He's like, just a. I thought this was a bookstore." He's like, "Oh no, I bought it. I turned it into a bar." And she's like, "I would like a coffee." He's like, "Well, this is a bookshop. So what type of coffee you want?" Yeah, almond milk, sour milk. That's just whatever you got. He makes coffee and he makes it very artsy, like a bookstore thing. She likes it. And then they do this flirty banter of like, I'm leaving you 3.5 stars on Yelp. Remember, you're not a bookstore and all this. And she's just writing in her notebook. She leaves. She forgets her notebook. He comes back. He sees the notebook there and he puts in lost and found. She's like, fuck, I forgot. She comes back. And he's like, "Oh yeah, here it's in the lost and found. Here you go." He's like, "I would like to get your phone number and everything." She's like, "I don't have a phone." And this is a real thing. She doesn't have a phone. She's been in jail for 7 years. So that happens, and she's just walking everywhere, and I'm confused because this town kind of feels like South Park because she's walking everywhere. But from what we see, this town is like everything is very far away from each other. So she's walking to work at her now because she works at this grocery store. And from like the geography of what we've seen driving around, the bar is at least a 10 to 15-minute drive from the Paradise Hotel that Kenna is living in. And Ledger lives on the nice side of town because we're like, and there's no like ghetto part, but like there's the rundown white part, and then there's like a suburban, nicer white part. So Ledger owns a house, right? Like a nice suburban dream, white neighborhood house. In front of the house is where Lorelai and Josh Lyman live, who are the grandparents of Diem, who is the daughter of Kenna, right? And we get the thing that Ledger is the soccer coach for DM, and he grew up with Scotty. Like, they've been neighbors since they were 5. This is the house he grew up in that he lives in. They've always been neighbors like this. And so we kind of get this whole thing. And then he sees Kenna get off in a taxi in front of it. And he sees Kenna walking up to the house and he clocks it. He's like, oh my God. And I'm confused because neither house has a ring camera. And this is what that was the only thing I found unrealistic in this entire movie is that aspect of it. Also, that there should have been a thing somewhere because when someone related to some like a thing comes out of jail, the family members usually notice. So Lorelai and Josh Lyman should have got to notice that Kenna was released early on good behavior or something, because obviously they're also raising her daughter. Now we understand because she had the kid in jail, she has no legal rights to the child. Now there should have been some whole thing that like you're not allowed to like there would have been something you're not allowed to visit your kid like that is somewhere that probably should have been added into the movie legitimately because we've only seen this plot line like Orange and the New Black did this a lot, right? And Ledger realizes that and he stops her from going, you can't do this, they will yell at you, they will get you arrested, go get into my house, wait here, I'm going to take you home or to your work, whatever, you can't stay here. And the Lorelai and Josh Lyman come out and they're like, just go inside. I'm handling it. And he drives off. And he's like, what did you expect to happen? They blame you for Scotty's death. And Ledger's like, I don't recognize you from the whole thing. And Kenna didn't clock that was Ledger because she never met Ledger at all. Because we get the flashback of Ledger and Scotty doing drugs in their backyard because it's Denham's 5th birthday or something. And that they do drugs and some obsession with pigeons. And he's like, my dream is to be like the wide receiver for the Denver Broncos. Then we get another flashback that Ledger is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. He's at their training facility for the Broncos. Like this is a massive part of the movie. So we understand that Ledger was a successful NFL player for at least 6 to 8 years. He made a lot of money. but he blows out his shoulder in an injury sometime after Scotty's death. And that is why he moves back to the Wyoming town he grew up in. Right? This is I'm props to all of the story, like, so far because I believe it. He's, like, built like a wide receiver, and it's really great, and it's why he's so good with money. He's like, I went to school for fun while I was in school, I did go to school with one of these NFL players who didn't. I mean, college football players who didn't. So he understood finance. That's why we understand why he's rich, and he bought the bookstore to convert into a bar, and how he has what was his house he grew up in, that aspect. Then they kind of begin to speak to each other and they have this flirty banter. Um, she goes back to the grocery store and Ledger is there shopping. And this is one of these weird grocery stores. I never saw this. Like when I was growing up, I worked at a Target and we didn't bring like, unless it was an electronic where you had to bring it up an old person to put in their car, like a TV or something. We didn't bring the groceries to the car with someone. This feels like a legal liability to do something like that. Now, obviously, there's the drive to pick up things at Target and Walmart now, but that is different. That's just like they're dropping the groceries in the car. This isn't like you buy it at the register and they come with you, but he's in her lane and he brings the groceries to her and they have this whole conversation. And he's like, look, let's hang out. I'll tell you what you want to know. That happens. So, and then we kind of get this where, he tells her, like, she's really obsessed with yellow. She loves dancing. She has this fiery energy just like you. And he, like, drives her home. And at the next part, she's like, look, I'm not making enough money to see her. And I just want to meet her so badly. He's like, and she's like, I'll hire you as like my dishwasher in the back of the bar. So that happens. And she's still walking everywhere. And because she was like the head dishwasher at the jail, she cleans everything up really well. Then we get a flashback of her giving birth in the jail, but the baby was born 6 weeks early. So the way it works apparently in jail birth is that she would have the kid for 2 days before getting sent back. But she was alone for 2 days because the kid was in the NICU, so she never got to see the baby at all. And then we hope the whole thing because she still like gave birth, she's just like leaking breast milk. And Ivy, which was her roommate in jail, and then that's what she names the kitten after, Ivy. So that was sweet. Okay, nice order. I liked it. I very much enjoyed that whole part of it. Then um they work and they kind of go on a date and they make out in the house and she's like, we can't do this. You were his best friend. Then she's working at the grocery store, she gets she's walking to work one day. We see that Lorelai follows her because she wanted to see where she lived and all of this. And she gets the lawyer to give a restraining order that you're not allowed in the house or whatever. Like she gets served at work. She gets a phone in between this, texts Ledger that, she put a restraining order. Like, do you need a day off? Like, no, 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 we can come in late. And he shows her this house that he's building with his NFL money in like a really beautiful house in Wyoming, right? And he's like, this is my dream house. It's been taking 4 years to build. And he's like, why? She's like, why do you stay here? Or like, haven't finished it. He's like, then I won't be next to DM. And she's like, I like that you care that you're like the father figure in her life. This guy's gone. But you can't live his life that he's not here for and all that. They work. Then she runs because she's working in the restaurant. The Lorelai and Josh Lyman come over and she runs out. And Ledger is like, fuck, I gotta make sure she's hidden somewhere because I can't let them know because they will hate Ledger if he finds out that he's helping her, the person they blame for the death of her son. Because it's implied like a DUI accident happened and she fled, right? That is like the story we're told, DUI, alcohol, because we get a flashback of the birthday dinner where he dies, right? And we see that Lorelai really didn't like her because she's from the wrong side of town. And she's like, let's go out, let's celebrate your birthday. It was like his 22nd or 23rd birthday or something like that. And then, the police knock on the door, there's been an accident, and then the jail sentencing scene for vehicular manslaughter, fleeing the scene of an accident, and some other charges. So that That's oh, and DUI. So that happens, and they finally have very hot sex. Like this sex scene was much better than anything we saw in fucking Wuthering Heights. That's for sure. And he's like, "You're sleeping on a couch. Here's your air mattress." And he constantly meets Diana because Kenna keeps saying Diana like, "Oh, he's the reason he kidnapped my daughter," like in a joking fashion. We learn it's almost Mother's Day, right? That she should come to the Mother's Day party that's happening. And Ledger buys flowers for Lorelai because it's Mother's Day and she's been raising the kid. He also buys flowers for Kenna because she is the mother. Then what happens is they're oh yeah, they have sex in the fancy house he's building. Josh Lyman, for whatever reason, drives over there because he was worried about him, and he sees they're in bed together, and he's just angry as shit. Then he goes to his house, the house he grew up in. Josh Lyman punches the shit out of Ledger, and he's like, You're misunderstanding what happened because Ledger gets told what really happened that day, and it kind of makes more sense. It's very sad, and it's right that they did weed gummies. They drive, they hit a pothole, the car flips over, he's unconscious. Their iPhones do not work, right? There's no service while they're in Wyoming. She is running on the road searching for help. No one's coming down, right? She's looking for help. The phone's not working. Phone is shattered. She passes out like outside, and she's just in a state of shock because when she wakes up in the jail cell, she gets told he's died. Did you know that he was alive when you fled? A bunch of this. So she just pleads guilty to everything that was not her fault. She was looking for help, right? She was looking for help. The phones didn't work. No one wanted to stop with her because they thought she was a crazy woman covered in blood on the highway. And the only realistic charge that she should have gotten, because I'm assuming they did a blood alcohol test, they said they did not drink at all, right? And we see this in the flag. They did not drink at all. They just had weed gummies. So the only thing she should have gotten like jailed for is the driving under the influence. That part is true. But vehicular manslaughter is not her fault. Fleeing the scene of the accident is also not her fault. She was looking for help and all of that. So the DUI aspect is the only part that should be true for the jail sentence, right? No matter what, that part should have happened. And he understands and he's upset. And he takes the notebook for the Dear Journal notebook that her Dear Elena Gilbert noted, and he knocks on the door. He's like, "You know me my entire life. I've basically helped you raise DM. Read this journal. This is what happened the night of the accident. Please, I'll never talk to you again, but here, read it, okay?" And then this is the part where it's so upsetting and where everyone began to cry. Like this part of the movie. Um, Lorelai knocks on the Paradise Hotel, Kenna's apartment. Kenna's like, I can't be here. Everyone hates me. Your life is ruined. We need to move. And she unpacks everything. And Lorelai knocks and she's like, Can I come in and talk? And she's like, Sure. And he's like, Scotty would have wanted the mother of his daughter in her life. I can promise I will let you meet her, but I can't promise anything more than that. So please come to dinner tonight at 7. Okay? The restraining order won't be in effect. Please, I promise. There you go. So then the taxi part happens. She's dressed up really pretty. And Ledger Caesar comes out and he's just kind of confused. He's like, "Oh, Lorelai invited me over for dinner to meet DM." He's like, "Do you want me to come?" Lorelai opens the door. He's like, "I invited Kenna for dinner. Would you like to come, Ledger?" "Sure." And Ledger and I mean, uh, Lorelai and Josh Lyman are there, and you're like she's in the back. Ledger introduces DM to Kenna, and you just cry. It's fucking beautiful. This is where it just gets so sad. And she's like, "Hi," and she's like, "I really like the color yellow. And do you want to play princess?" And Kenna's like, "Hi, I'm your mommy. I know you don't know this, but I'm your mommy." And we get told in the beginning of the movie that DM's told that she doesn't have a mommy because her mommy needs to get a bigger minivan. And, like, she was told that like, Kenna was told the story. She's like, "I'm working on the bigger van right now, but that's okay." And then it's just like, you grew in my belly and all of this, and Lorelai's watching and she's crying, and she understands it. Kenna comes in and she's like, "Can I get some paper towels and some juice?" And Lorelai's like, "You can just I'm so happy you're playing with your daughter. She looks so happy." And they have this dinner, and it's so beautiful, and it's just so like, oh my god, I'm tearing up saying this part right now. And we get it, and Josh Lyman's like, "I've known you since you were 5, Ledger. You trust me to trust her and all of it. You've never given me a reason to trust you. I'm sorry for punching you in the face," and all of it. And they have dinner. It's kinda awkward, but, like, it's happy. Then we flash forward a couple months, and Ledger, Kenna, and Denham are together in the orange truck. They rebuild Scotty's memorial, like, "Your daddy would have loved this," and yeah, that's what happens. It's so beautiful. Like, you have no idea. Like, it's oh my god, it is so tearfully beautiful, and it's a shame. Like, I hope this movie, like, makes enough money. I think it's fucking great. I like, I have never been, like, tearfully talking about a movie like that. It's beautiful, man. It's it's crazy. Like, I don't plan on reading any of these fucking Colleen Hoover books or these Emily, fucking what the hell is the people we meet on vacation lady? We meet God, Emily, whatever her name is, Emily something. But look, it oh God, what is it? Emily Henry. I don't know if there's beef between them. I don't think there is. But look, I don't know how many fucking Colleen Hoover books there are, right? I know we're probably not getting the Ends With Us sequel, but we're getting Verity like later this year. And I don't know how many more movies there are with, tragic car accidents and hot white women that fall in love and someone they love dies in a car accident. But, there we go. Apparently, I know there's some new Colleen Hoover book that comes out later this year. I guess that one will also be turned into a fucking movie. Who really knows? But I'm in. I'm always gonna be in for a Colleen Hoover um, book turned movie because it's always a hot white woman, love, it full of super hot people. And I don't know if Verity's anything like this. I know that's like more of an that one is supposed to be like more of an Oscar-y film or whatever with Anne Hathaway. But yo, go see this movie. You will get a very good cry. Okay? I thought it was starting slow and kind of wonky, but it finds its footing. Man, it's not even a story about like love, it's a story about redemption. Okay? So good. So good.